If you love food and cooking, you're going to love cooking Latin American food in Spanish. Latin American gastronomy is a collection of diverse and sophisticated national cuisines. The ingredients, combinations, and flavors produced by this eclectic food culture are truly fascinating. But how can you cook like Latin American people do if you don't even know the Spanish names of the ingredients, kitchen utensils, or procedures needed to prepare arepas or ceviche? Today, we'll learn useful cooking vocabulary in Spanish while preparing 3 delicious Latin American dishes. Make sure not to miss the Guatemalan dessert. But before getting to our first dish, remember that we post a new video every week. And if you don't want to miss any of our videos, please subscribe and click that notification bell below. It's easy. Just subscribe and click that bell. Are you ready to learn some cooking vocabulary in Spanish? How about learning to prepare an Argentinian starter or a delicious Mexican main dish? Let's start from the beginning. How to prepare a delicious starter known as entrada or entremés in Spanish. Its name is provoleta, and it comes from Argentina, a country famous for its extraordinary grilled steaks or asados. Provoleta is a staple of Argentinian asados, but it's actually an appetizer made of grilled cheese or queso fundido. To make provoleta, you need a thick slice or rebanada of provolone cheese or queso provolone, 3 teaspoons or cucharaditas of fresh oregano or oregano fresco, half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper or pimienta roja molida, and 1 sliced baguette or pan rebanado to accompany the provoleta. Put a small cast iron pan or sartén de hierro fundido over the fire or fuego, and once it's hot or caliente, put the cheese in. Now sprinkle or espolvorea half the oregano and crushed red pepper. Let it cook or cocinar for 2 minutes and flip or voltea the cheese with a spatula or espátula in Spanish. 2 more minutes on the pan, and when the cheese starts getting brown, transfer the cheese to a plate or plato and sprinkle the rest of the oregano and red crushed pepper. Serve hot with sliced bread and chimichurri, which is a recipe for another time. I hope you enjoyed preparing that starter, because now I'm going to show you how to cook one of the most delicious Mexican dishes or platillos, the famous tacos al pastor. To prepare the characteristic orange color of tacos al pastor, you need to crumble achiote into orange juice or jugo de naranja and leave it to marinate or marinar for 5 minutes. Then, on a dry pan or sartén seco, you have to fry or freír guajillo chiles or chiles guajillo for 4 minutes until they get charred or carbonizados. Mix or mezcla the chilies, and the marinating sauces in a blender or licuadora. Pour them over pork meat or carne de puerco and chill them overnight or enfría toda la noche. The next day, grill or asa the pork meat and heat or calienta some corn tortillas. All you need to do now is prepare your taco like a true Mexican food connoisseur. Add pineapple or piña, onion or cebolla, coriander, cilantro, and lime, limon. And please find some spicy sauce or salsa picante to pour over your tacos al pastor. That was pretty easy, right? Now you know how to prepare two of the most traditional Latin American dishes. Let's take some time now to learn some basic cooking verbs before moving to the exquisite Guatemalan dessert. To bake, hornear. To boil, hervir. To chop, picar. To peel, pelar. To rinse, enjuagar. To stir, revolver. To whisk, batir. Food and cooking is a world in itself. And as you can see from proveleta and tacos al pastor, Latin American gastronomy is worth a try. However, to immerse into this immensely rich and diverse group of national cuisines, you need to know your way around a kitchen in Spanish. Sign up for a free class with one of our native Spanish-speaking teachers. Just click here. No payment, no credit card needed. Now, let's get back to our delicious journey through Latin American gastronomy. I just want to cover a list of useful utensils in Spanish to help you move around the kitchen. Bread knife, el cuchillo para pan. Chopping board, la tabla para picar. Colander, el colador. Frying pan, el sartén. Grater, el rallador. Kitchen shears, las tijeras de cocina. Ladle, el cucharón. Measuring cup, la taza medidora. Meat knife, el cuchillo para carne. Oven mitts, los guantes para horno. Peeler, el pelador. Pot, la olla. Pressure cooker, la olla a presión. Rolling pin, el rodillo. Salad spinner, la ensaladera. Saucepan, la cacerola. Strainer, el escurridor. Timer, el cronómetro. Whisk, la batidora. Wooden spoon, la cuchara de madera. Are you ready now for that legendary Guatemalan dessert? Okay, it's time to show you how to prepare rellenitos de plátanos, which is a dish made with ripe plantains filled with beans or frijoles and covered in azúcar, sugar. First, you need to cook and mash or machacar the ripe plantains or plátanos maduros. And then you fill them with sweet black beans. The next step is to fry them in a pan with a little bit of oil or aceite. Sprinkle sugar and cinnamon, canela, according to your taste. And Voila! You just made rellenitos de plátano. Serve them with sour cream, crema agria, and chocolate syrup, or jarabe de chocolate, and enjoy one of the best desserts in all of the Americas. But how do you say dessert in Spanish? Let's cover our bases with some important food and cooking vocabulary in Spanish. Breakfast, el desayuno. Lunch, el almuerzo. Dessert, el postre. Dinner, la cena. Main dish, el plato fuerte. Side dish, el acompañamiento. Excellent! You keep adding to that cooking vocabulary. Now you know how to call the different meals in Spanish and have a long list of kitchen utensils to work with. But what about the table utensils? Here you have all the important utensils you need to enjoy your meal at the table. Bowl, el tazón. Cup, la taza. Cutlery, los cubiertos. Fork, el tenedor. Glass, el vaso. Knife, el cuchillo. Peppermill, el pimentero. Plate, el plato. Salt shaker, el salero. Spoon, la cuchara. Teaspoon, la cucharita. There you have it. Now you're ready to embark on a culinary trip and discover the exquisite treasures of Latin American gastronomy. Or, if anything else, you know your way around a kitchen in Spanish. Learning to cook in Spanish isn't that hard once you get to know the essential kitchen vocabulary and the verbs needed to prepare the Latin American delicacies of your choice. From now on, a provoleta, some tacos al pastor, or even rellenitos de plátano aren't off limits. Impress your friends and family with any of them in your next social dinner and do it in Spanish. Which dish was your favorite? The sophisticated starter to prepare your palate for an Argentinian asado? Or the world-famous Mexican tacos? Or maybe the less known but equally delicious Guatemalan dessert? Let us know in the comment section below and start a conversation about the best Latin American dishes. You can also tell us about what other dishes you'd like to watch a video and learn to cook. Maybe next time we can explore a different national cuisine. Any suggestions? If you liked this video about cooking vocabulary and Latin American dishes, I'm sure you'll enjoy this other one about Spanish vocabulary at the butcher shop. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to our channel, and click that notification bell to never miss the best Spanish content on the web.